Well, hello, greetings, everybody, and welcome to episode 27 of the Gr8 Nrthrn Sexcast. Hello, Colleen Bertino.
Hey there, good morning.
And Megan Vaughn, hi.
Hello.
And we've got some puggles coming in. No, just regular old pugs coming to say hi through the door. There's always something happening around here.
I feel like I should have a dog.
Yeah. you need to have them. They are so cute. Oh, my God.
I was like, I've got a collar and a leash. I suppose I could get a dog to go with it.
Oh, it never occurred to you, right? The dog was like an afterthought for you?
Yeah.
Oh. No, it's so exciting to have Colleen back from vacation. And while you were away, all of the rest of us mice, me, Kelly Guest, and the Fantasy Gifts crew, had a really interesting Sunday morning at, I have never been to that fabulous hotel. It was the Westin
Galleria in Edina. Yes.
Yeah, what a beautiful space. Holy moly.
Yeah, it is beautiful, and their food is amazing. And that's one of the main reasons we look forward to these seminars is free, delicious food.
Yeah.
Food and swag.
Swag.
Yes.
Oh, my God. Well, so I get there. This whole thing starts at 7 o'clock. I ambled in about
In
7
the morning.
In the morning, and I ambled in about 7:20, and Justin with East Coast News.
Yes, that's correct.
Was the major organizer, and they had just this beautiful setup, and they walked me into the main area where all of the training, and this was a serious training session for Fantasy Gifts employees with all of your major distributors, right?
Yeah. East Coast News is one of our main distributors, and they will organize these training sessions for our employees. We do them twice a year, and they will bring in like a half dozen or so, sometimes more, reps from particular companies, and they'll talk about that company stuff, and then there's food.
Yeah, there's food.
But so there's sex toys, there's food, and fun.
Yeah. So, and I'm just taking it all in, and I'm sitting here, and of course, this elegant setting, whatever, and this big, huge room where everybody did their presentations to your staff, Colleen, is wall-to-wall vibrators and bondage equipment and all this other kind of stuff. And I'm watching. So I set up in the lobby with the recording equipment. And I'm watching like all the families and the elderly couples go by, and I'm like, if you only knew what was on the other side of that door.
I always wonder what the wait staff thinks. The ones that come in and walk around and clear off empty plates and stuff. Like, just let me squeeze by this table of giant dildos to come clear off your empty plate.
They were that. You know what cracked me
Was
up?
that one gentleman there helping to load up at the end?
No. Our friend from last year was not there. There was a man at the Westin, very, very helpful older gentleman who helped us last year. But
they were all dressed up in their kind of like very, nice looking waiter, almost bow tie type of situations with their white shirts. And I was expecting them, half of them, to have gloves on because they were that proper. And they were just walking around completely nonchalant, like they're, they didn't see a thing.
Well, one, they're professionals, and two, this is about the fifth time we've had it there, so it's not as though there's anything that they haven't seen at this point. Maybe a new person here or there, but it's always entertaining because it gets all set up, and they're just bringing in their little things of coffee.
Yeah,
because coffee is very important at 7 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday.
Yeah, and I mean, I can't remember who I made the comment to. It's like I'm thinking it's just a little bit too early for bondage for me. I haven't quite had enough coffee for the bondage stuff yet.
they did go later on in the day. They
That
were
was
one of the later presenters. So
I'm camped out in the lobby with my little recording setup, and I was able to talk to, I think, every single representative that was there. And so we're going to have two features today, just to give them all their due. They all did such a great job about talking about their companies and their products and whatever. And what I wanted to do was pepper these interviews throughout the next few shows and put people that have different products in the same, thing, so that they're not two direct things talking about the same thing. So one of the first people, you guys ready to hear our first interview quick?
Go for it.
Let's, this is Cheney. Cheney is quite a personality. Do you know her, Colleen?
No.
Well, she works for the Rabbit Company.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
This is a new company, so it's going to be, and actually the product's been doing quite well for us.
Oh, and congratulations to the winner. This is the same company where we, through the Gr8 Nrthrn Sexcast, gave away that free rabbit toy.
Yeah.
It's from this company, the Rabbit Company, and they were very excited to win. So.
Right. Are we allowed to say a first name or anything?
I don't know. I didn't clear it.
Okay,
so.
don't do it then. We will not. We do. Your privacy is important to us here at the Gr8 Nrthrn Sexcast. All right, well, let's try to see if my technical genius wizardry works out, and let's hear from Cheney. Okay, let's try it this way.
Do we need a drum roll?
Yeah. You know what? We're not hearing her. So we'll go ahead and figure out what that is. And we might have to hear from Cheney next week, actually. But it's, it's a really good company feature. And we, we'll look at this and we'll get back to it. We'll go ahead and go through my little disaster that I experienced that day, in addition to the one I'm having right now with the sound equipment, which, happens on occasion.
Well, we are the guinea pig. So we'll figure this out.
Well, and it's like sex, right? I mean, it doesn't always necessarily work out the way you want to, and that's okay.
Yeah. There's some button I'm supposed to release, and I don't know how to go looking for it right now, so we're just going to keep moving forward.
That's what she
It's
said.
kind of like sex, right? Yeah. So anyway, I will figure that out, and we'll get those interviews onto you. And coming up, too, I'm saving the Jessica Drake interview. I did get to sit down with her, and she is something else. I was under the impression, and she straightened me out on this, that she was not really performing in movies anymore. And oh my, yes, she is. So she's still fully all around in the business. She's busy.
Yes, very busy.
And she demystifies. We'll let you know when we're going to run that interview. But she really tells you a lot of things. I didn't want to just ask her all the basic things that a porn star would be asked, like, do you ever have fun? Or do you, just really lame questions. I kind of let her guide everything. And through the course of her saying what was important to her, she sort of answered a lot of my questions. So I thought that was pretty cool. And she was just such a professional. I was amazed. How did the event at the Burnsville store go, by the way? Was it a good turnout?
Yeah, it was pretty good turnout. We love people to come. We could always use more, but the people that came, and that's the important, the people that came loved it. They had a blast. Everyone stayed to get autographs and pictures, and they had fun and learned a lot of really cool stuff.
And they asked questions, and Jessica truly is professional, because it was not I'm going to stand here and lecture you. It was a give and take question and answer thing the whole time. I wasn't there, but people were raving, because of course I'm driving home from, it's a road trip. And so every time I'd stop, I'd be texting, how's it going? What's going on? I was going through there, and they just said that everyone was, they loved the setup. They loved, what I can just imagine is the folks that just came in to come shopping, and then they ran into the seminar and they just hung out. I'm like, well, there's just a fun evening. I mean, I'm just going to run in, or we're driving by, let's stop in, and Jessica Drake is in the store giving, and this is not, she was fascinating, and she took anonymous questions so people could ask real things, and then after a while, people were just, it was so comfortable that they were just asking.
Yeah.
And going back and forth. It was a just amazing evening for everyone. We've gotten a couple thank you notes already.
That's nice.
It's been really, really wonderful to hear, because everyone busted their ass
to get that together.
To get it together, and it came off without a hitch. It was wonderful.
It was. Oh, I want another shout out. It's the day for shout outs. There was actually a couple there who said they heard about it because they listen to the podcast.
Yes.
Every week.
Yes.
They download the new episodes. So, hi, couple from the seminar. You know who you are. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. And it's funny. And again, we will play the Jessica interview, but I was just fascinated with what she's doing now as far as the non-film work and all of her dealings with the Wicked company. She said that she starts the whole interview out by talking about how a woman just came up to her at an appearance and confided to this total stranger adult film star that she says, I don't think I've ever had an orgasm. And she said, if you don't think you are, you aren't. And, but I said, I was shocked that the lady had the guts to say that to her. And she's like, I know. And that sort of kicked off her sort of crusade, if you will, that she's on to help people enjoy things more. So we're looking forward to it. We'll get that Jessica Drake. I knew that today we might have a technical issue, so I didn't want to mess that up. So we'll get Cheney and we'll get Ryan, the interviews that I was going to play, queued up here going forward. But, okay, can we talk about the schwag bag for a minute? The other thing that Justin from East Coast News, which is your website partner,
yes,
that does all the drop shipping for the massive quantity of offerings you guys have online, right?
Yeah.
And they put out these amazing bags.
Yeah, it is impossible to carry everything that is out there. I would need a Target size store. And, mind you, it would be fun, but it would be overwhelming. And I do think that sometimes there's too much choice out there. mean, there's so many things in front of you that you're just paralyzed.
Yeah.
And so that's, one of the things I think we do really well is pare it down so that your brain doesn't explode when you're trying to find what you want.
Well, that even after seeing just the setup on Sunday, it made me think really a lot, even that much more impressed with Tara and how hard her job as the buyer for fantasy gifts must be to ferret through everything, to even get it to narrow down, to even have you guys help her make a decision.
Yeah. You can't carry it all. And the thing is didn't it all sound wonderful? Now, mind you, it is all wonderful.
Yeah.
And so being able to say no is very important. Like, yes, this is nice. And when I win the $1 billion lottery, we'll get it all in. But I haven't done that yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's retail. I mean, I know my boyfriend owns a retail store, and I understand the importance of managing your inventory and versus your cash flow and all of that other kind of stuff, because it was just astounding. And the other thing, and I talked to some of your suppliers about this, but how often they're coming out with new and different stuff. It's like, I guess with the increased interest in this sort of thing in the public at large, it's better and it's selling, but it's like, oh my God, it's almost like you have to add that to a category for your budget. Okay, sex toys, these are old. Let's get rid of these. Let's get the new ones. You know what I mean?
It is constant, because sometimes I wish there could be a moratorium on new product for like a year. We can't get through the stuff that came out 6 months ago because we're still trying to figure out whether the stuff 8 months ago is going. It is just, I mean, there used to be 30-page catalogs, and now they're the size of phone books, for those of you that remember what phone books are.
Yeah.
And it's just fascinating. It's like, and then you're like, we could have a store that was just lube.
Yeah. You could.
Just lube. I mean, that maybe we should just lube.
Yeah.
But it's probably
right next to the oil change drive-thrus. Wait, don't you think?
But there's just so much, because everybody sort of wants what they want, and so we have to. It's like, what are the things that do well in Minnesota from this line, and what are things that do well from Minnesota in this line and in stores? Which is one of the reasons why I was the crazy woman that decided to have 2 websites.
Yeah.
Because you can't carry it all, but we can have access to it. And it's sort of like the world out there. You can't learn everything in school anymore, but you just have to be able to know how to find it. Well, I have the second website, so you can find it.
That's a really good point, Colleen, because, so somebody comes in and they've heard about something that's in maybe a product line that you carry, but you don't have that particular item in it. You can send them to that site and they can get it directly. But they can get a sense of what it's like from the rest of the line in the store too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not like Macy's carries every pair of Levi's
right
carry out there, but you can go online and you can get a hell of a lot more, and that's what we've done too.
Okay,
because it's 2015, folks.
So, Colleen, I want you to give us a tour through the schwag bag.
Okay.
Because this is hysterical. Before we go into our regular features for news and all this kind of stuff. So I was so disappointed because I was so frantically dealing with my equipment. And everybody, by the way, was super. I mean, after they got over the shock that they were going to be recorded and interviewed, they were pretty good about coming over and sitting down and talking. Because let's face it, what they do for a living, they talk about something that a lot of people have a little reticence about.
So and that's their jobs, is to educate people on how awesome their product is. So.
Yeah,
they're good at it.
And they really are. And it's funny. One of the most reserved people.
Tissue paper here that's attacking me. Ooh, cock ring.
Well, Colleen, just so you know, she's digging out, pulling item after item out. These were all sitting on the chairs, Meg, right? In the thing. Okay, so Colleen, walk us through all this.
Okay, the OVO was there. It's a company that we've pared down the line because we found out what sells here.
Okay.
And this is what we're doing. And one of the items that they brought, for example, is their silicone cock rings. And they look, the way they're packaging, like it's a harder plastic cock ring, but it's a very flexible silicone.
Okay.
And it's just wonderful. So we have a lovely vibrating cock ring.
Can I just say the crazy thing with OVO, they are now based in the U.S.
They were a German company.
Yes.
Correct. Yes.
So now they have a 15-year warranty
I see that.
on their toys, which is insane. The biggest problem is people, if something were to happen, they didn't want to have to ship it all the way to Germany. So now they're within the U.S. So you can take better advantage of that crazy warranty.
Okay, this thing has the look of something that you would find at like IKEA or an upscale Swedish, it looks very sleek and Scandinavian. Can I just tell you, there's no directions on it though. So it's like, what do you do? Is there like an online, because what if you don't know what to do with it?
You ask one of the helpful staff.
Okay, because it's not obvious to me exactly how I see the batteries there, and but it's like, oh boy, which way does it go? How do you get it off and on? I'm sorry, but
it's very stretchy.
Okay.
They are. That's the thing with the cock rings. Really, I could wear any of them as a bracelet. Like, they look small, but they
I was going to say. Okay.
They really stretch.
Okay.
So
then there's a company that we started to bring some more stuff in, BMS.
BMS, yep.
And folks are familiar with like what's the word? A wand.
Mm-hmm.
A wand fix. This is a itty bitty teeny weeny little wand vibrator, and it's not a keychain. It's a functional vibrator. I actually sort of squealed because it's tiny.
Does it have? It looks like it has a keychain thing on it.
No, I think that's just a holding. I haven't opened it up.
No, okay.
Just
to hold on to it.
Just a little hold.
You could put it on a keychain.
I think that would be hilarious. Mm-hmm. Oh my God! Can you hear that?
Stuck in traffic? That's great. Yeah.
Oops! You have all these, rapid acceleration rear-ending accidents, but that is hilarious. Okay, Colleen is vibrating the microphone. Okay.
Well, you wanted it, yeah. It's going through.
That is adorable, and it's called Palm Power.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether or not, like I said, they bring a lot of stuff.
Big version.
They carry the big versions. I mean, a lot of times the folks are doing the swag bag because, of course, what they want to do is to get our employees to bug Tara to buy everything,
which is smart.
Which is smart. I mean, they're not idiots. I mean, these folks know their jobs.
They're professionals. I was impressed. Seriously,
Mm-hmm.
these people, and a lot of them travel. Either the entire U.S. or parts of the U.S. and Europe. Mm-hmm. Yep. So they are traveling all the time. I saw that. I didn't open it at the thing. What is that?
This is from the Closet collection. We used to carry it. This particular style, the Nina, it didn't sell super well for us. Because I always thought it looked... The thing with Closet collection, they admitted it themselves during the seminar, is some of their items tend to look like animals.
Yeah.
I don't know if quite a while back I talked about a sandworm vibrator, posted a picture. That was from Closet. This, I always think it's some kind of like underwater fluke
it does
worm parasite, but it's going to be amazing for massage. Mm-hmm. That's the thing, is they look weird, but you can see where they'd actually be great.
Soft.
But we have quite a bit from them, actually, and it's really nice. They're all named after different fashion icons, like the Carrie Bee, and they come in these really pretty boxes. They're perfect gift vibrators. So,
okay, this one needs batteries, but that's cool. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's really neat. Okay, so what else was in that cute little package with it? Just lube or something?
Now, ID. Oh yeah, there's a. Oh God, what is this? This is fun.
It's a hairbrush.
Oh, hairbrush. Okay, so not everything is a sex toy. Some things are just novelty items and stuff like that. So,
okay. Some promotional stuff.
Promotional stuff and lip balm, stuff like that.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that one's from them.
So after going through there, we also ID gave a spectacular. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I think these are airline safe. Yes, they're only 1 fluid ounces, so you can bring them on the airlines. This is lovely. But they gave their silk lube, their Millennium lube, the ID Glide, the original water. They've got their toy cleaner, the jelly lube. So it's a lovely display of all of the lubricants.
That is really cool.
I mean, actually, they carry a ton of lubricants. Mm-hmm. Once again, we can't carry everything, which is nice, and I double checked. It's all on the ECN site. If it's in stock, in one of their 3 warehouses, it's online.
Yeah. Well, so what I wanted to know, because when I was talking to Ryan, the rep from ID, who we're going to try to play for you, he was telling me that it's best just to try different ones, to kind of find what you like. Do they sell them in the small sizes so you're not committed to a whole bunch, or is that just a promotional size right there?
I believe that may be a promotional size, but we do carry the smaller bottles.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes, a lot of these companies have 6, like half gallon and gallon large things. One, the price is outrageous because these are. This is not just throw stuff in a jar and sell it as lube. All this stuff is it may not have the medical grade on it because it costs a fortune to do that, but they're all very well made, all very clean, all very pure. All these things. They're good ingredients. Mm-hmm. And so we tend to carry a lot of 2, 4, and I think that the largest we're going to carry here and there is maybe an 8 ounce. Yeah. Because the price does go up, and then people change. You want to there's a different lube for masturbation sometimes, or a different lube for anal sex, or a different lube for vaginal sex. So you're not going to want a huge amount of something, and you might just you could change.
Yeah.
what your body's doing, what you're into. And so we definitely carry the smaller bottles because we know that people don't want to, and then if you knock over a 2-ounce bottle, you don't freak out. If you knock over, knock over the big one.
Not to mention how hard would that be to get out of the carpet? Can you imagine having to call the cleaning company? What's this? Yeah.
You better hope it's water-based versus a silicone in that case.
There have been many, many times when we've had to call the carpet cleaners in, and so now I've learned there are no lube displays, or we try not to have a lube display anywhere near carpet.
Yeah, no, that's smart because not to mention, slipping on that crap. Banana peels don't hold a candle to what this will do to you, man. Crack your head open. One of the other things I thought was interesting, not just about the lube, but about a lot of this stuff that I saw on Sunday at your event, guys, is that you can leave it sitting out and it doesn't necessarily look like what it is.
No, it's not as though, there was an item that we carried from a company a long time ago called the Big Red Glitter Dick, which I had the most fun with the local paper when I did a Christmas ad that says, nothing says the holidays like a big red glitter dick. I actually had people call the office and say they've never laughed so hard over a print ad before.
That's awesome.
Which made me giggle. But no, it has become, because of growing aesthetics, because of laws that in some states that say that you can't have something penis shaped, so they made things that are non-penis shaped. It's also non-threatening to have a non-body part shaped vibrator. There's a lot of reasons, and it doesn't. It just needs to do the job, and they're beautiful pieces. A lot of them are definitely more there's form and function. They're beautiful.
Yeah, and it's not that you want to leave all this stuff necessarily sitting out all the time, but if you do have it sitting out and you forget, you don't have to necessarily panic that it's going to be instantly noticed. I guess was kind of the whole thing, the takeaway from there. So was there anything else? I noticed there's some.
Well, Wicked, which Jessica was there. They have a lovely little bag that they put a whole bunch of lube samples in, and then a full size foaming toy cleaner.
Oh, that's nice.
And none of these carry. Minnesota and a lot of places where I'm banning triclosan. Am I pronouncing? It's something. It's a chemical that's been banned in Minnesota, and it's all out of this. All out of the stuff.
Oh, cool.
So they don't have to worry about it because it was sinking to the bottom of ponds and turning into nasty crap.
Oh,
we don't want that.
No, especially no.
No.
So there's something else that says power something right next to your hand. Well, there's this guy too. What you got here?
Well, this is. Oh, it's a silicone stand. It's a promotional device. It's a silicone stand from the Closet Company, I believe, to hold up your iPod.
Okay. Okay, good.
And a bullet from them, another bullet vibe.
I believe the bullet is from BMS.
BMS too.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
So what are bullet vibes best used for?
Clitoral play. That is their main design. Yep.
Okay.
Especially a lot of bullet. That's nice. It's just a touch button, so there's no cord and controller.
Okay.
A lot of bullets do have a cord and controller, and people are like, I can insert it and just yank it out by the cord. But that will oftentimes ruin the toy because it will break the cord and you'll get a short.
And they may be water resistant, but they're made. There are outie vibes and innie vibes, and most bullet vibes are not most, but bullet vibes and stuff like that are outie vibes.
Okay, yes,
right?
because Liz explained what can happen with those, and it does require a trip to a medical professional.
Yes, that is correct. Yes, never for anal play.
Yes.
Please.
Yes. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. So, guys, we here at the Gr8 Nrthrn Sexcast, I'm always looking for something that would appeal to not only our twisted sense of humor, but just sort of the things that we're talking about. And there's this first story today that I found really was just freaking hilarious.
Yeah, we were mesmerized because we're looking at the we get sent a
the
outline, but some of it's fairly vague. And then we're like, well, what the hell could this possibly be?
With the leaf? Did you look up the leaf blower?
No, well, it was like, what else were we supposed to put? Leaf blower sex? Leaf blower masturbation? Leaf blower arrested?
Which
leaf
none
blower,
of those things sound good.
Leaf blower naked? Because leaf blower Florida? There are so...
Because Florida's where so much happens.
Right. Yes, that's where there was a little raccoon on an alligator, I guess. But okay, I digress. It's just weird things.
Did you Google it?
Yeah, but no. So that one we did not, because we had to go right into our meeting before we got here. But we were fat. We're like, what the hell did she find?
Yeah. Well, and I do that to you guys on purpose. this because I do enjoy kind of the element of surprise. This is actually, believe it or not sexual at all. But if you go online and look up on YouTube, it's a bored kid on summer vacation, and he rolls out an office chair, and he's like laying across it, and he's got the leaf blower on, and he's like propelling himself in circles and like going around, pushing himself by the leaf blower.
Okay, so what's going to happen here is that the next video is going to be him with a gash in his forehead,
right,
when he puts himself into a tree. But up until that point, that's a hell of a lot of fun.
It's hysterical looking. I mean, we've got to put it on the Gr8 Nrthrn Sexcast page because it's like, how bored do you have to be to come up with this? Seriously. and to be entertained by it. But yet I'm watching it laughing. So what does that mean?
Right. That's worse, I think.
No.
He's at least doing it.
Well, no, that's what boredom is good for. You know, you just
invention.
Because just every now and then. I mean, I know everyone who's a parent there because I'm bored, and I look at them. Good. Go figure something out. Not every damn. I mean, I for the life of me, I do not remember. Summers. I'm like, I know at one point there was food because obviously I'm still here, but my parents were working. You know, you just did stuff. You went and played in the creek, or you did this, or you were over at this house or that. I mean, people were. This is long before the term latchkey kid or any crap like that. You just found things to do.
Yeah, we didn't grow up with those kind of labels. We were just bored brats.
You find things to do, and I'm like, this kid found something to do. This is spectacular. And and obviously another kid's filming it, or
somebody else was involved. That's a very good
I
point.
mean, it wasn't. I suppose he could have. The kids are not idiots. They know what the hell's going on. I suppose he could have propped up his iPad or something on a chair. But more than likely, he was being followed along. So there's two bored kids, and at one point, if there's audio, you're going to hear, "Watch this," because famous words right there.
Well, if the men of Jackass can build like an entire empire out of
well, that usually
involves each other in shopping carts,
that's such a guy thing, though. I mean, and all guys think it's funny. All guys and all women or most women that I know are like, really?
Oh, no. Several years ago, so there's the whole guy, gal. And I'm assuming that, in relationships, there's going to be one person that's braver than the other. So maybe it's not male, female, or maybe there's, one person who's riskier than the other. But I'm up north. We are looking, we're walking along the shore, and there are waves crashing, and we're on this point, and I stop at one point, and my guy keeps going. And he's standing there, and I'm like, okay, when you fall in Lake Superior, I'll dial 911 because I'm not going any farther. And we had a room that overlooked this point. And the entire weekend, and it was all, male-female couples. People were walking, and the woman stopped the exact same stop part I did, and the guys kept going every time. We were just busting a gut the entire time funny. Because it was such a look into the different psyches.
Oh, yeah.
And it's interesting that women have a much higher life expectancy rate. I wonder if there's a correlation
Good
there.
But we just I'm like, fine, you go fall in Lake Superior. I'm staying right here.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good right here. This is fine. And we just watched it all weekend. Not once did we see a woman walk any farther than about where I was.
God, that's awesome. So I'm wondering if after this video makes it out there and viral, it already is, if a young lady named Shamika Charles is going to get a call from Wicked or some other companies that produce films, because she has held the Guinness Book of World Records for lowest limbo since September of 2010, and she just managed, and that was an 8.5 inches she got under there. Now think about the flexibility here and the possible uses for this skill. That's what I'm saying. But
does she bend at the ankles?
Oh, how does this? You've got to watch.
Okay.
She just limboed under an SUV. Okay, go figure. Okay, and she says, I love this quote. This cracked me up. She said, "I'm just so emotional about getting underneath it." If limbo is your life, okay, this is a big deal. She says the clearance is around 9 inches, but certain parts are lower than others, so it took a lot of concentration and controlled breathing. So I'm saying she could have a career, another career.
Definitely could. I have a feeling she's already getting offers left and right.
She'd have to. Because the position that she is in on her back under this, it's like she looks collapsible. It's incredible. It's just insane. So I'm glad
she's smiling.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
because
she's
she's happy about making the record. I'd be happy too. I mean, if I could bend like that, I'd be happy too.
I know.
I didn't even touch my toes.
Right. Well, and I think, from what I could see, because, basically she was under an SUV, but she looks like a pretty cute girl, So anyway, she
looks like a little gymnast. She's got that little gymnast body.
Very much so. Very much so. But she didn't look overtly tiny. She looked like, a very slender but average sized person. So check out the Shamika Charles limboing under an SUV and just think of the applications there. So Holly Madison has a book coming out. And it's called Down the Rabbit Hole. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, no, I know who she is. She was in the
Playboy Mansion.
Playboy Mansion, but she was on the TV show.
Yeah.
Girls Next Door.
Girls Next Door. I'm like, my brain's...
Yeah. And is she the same one that has the website? Or is that Ashley Madison? I'm sorry, I'm confusing her. No, this is Holly Madison. Sorry. My bad. But the book that's coming out June 23rd, I think it says, is Down the Rabbit Hole, Curious Adventures and Cautionary Tales of a Former Playboy Bunny. So she's going to address the real dark side of what it was like to live there. And she talks about getting to a point where she was really contemplating suicide because she called it the twisted Hugh Hefner world there and all of that. She said it's nothing like the glamour that you see, even the show you didn't see, and all of that sort of thing. So I don't know. I mean, how do you feel about this, you guys?
Well, one, I personally, I can't imagine that you're all that blind after this many years of knowing what you're getting into to some extent. I mean, it's a brand. And, nothing has really changed there in, 50 years? Mm-hmm. Now, is that good or bad? But I can't imagine that really that it was that surprising.
Well, she was like 19 and homeless when she was originally taken into the mansion.
Now, was she the one that was the number one girl during Girls Next Door? Okay, so she had a little bit more. But, it probably was more, yeah, if you're that much older than someone, whether it's male, however it goes, I can understand just not knowing, having any sense of self. And if you lose that sense of self, no matter how, it's going to be tough.
And it sounds like there was a lot of like mean girling and bullying, and I guess Hef liked the drama, liked them fighting. They kind of pressured her into, like, she ended up getting plastic surgery and stuff. So I could see it. I'm just surprised why people think it is so glamorous. You're
basically in a harem.
Right. Mm-hmm. And in some ways it is like pornography, and not necessarily all of the negative stuff, but that there's a lot more going on that you don't see. So just like in porn, when they're about to shoot an anal scene, you don't see all the like cleaning and prepping and foreplay and lubing. They just go right into it, and you're like, oh, that's how it works. I imagine it's same thing. You watch the show and you're like, oh, that's how it works, right? And you don't see this girl in a bathtub wanting to
drown
herself.
Yeah.
And that can happen.
Or just any movie or any art in general. You see the finished product,
right?
But nobody sees what goes into making any of this. Whether or not it was trying to make a kid cry for a scene, or whether or not someone has to bring up something and they're going through there. There's what you're seeing is not. It's television. It's movies. Mm-hmm. It's fantasy, and it was awfully handy that that she was able to like anyone to to regain a sense of self.
Yeah.
Because I don't care whether or not she's it's part of the Playboy world, but if you're 19 years old and you don't know what you're doing, mm-hmm. you're going to lose that sense of self, whether or not you're working at Walmart or whether or not any place or whether or any place else.
Yeah, and I mean, getting stuck in someone else's idea, for them, they're happy, but if for you it's a twisted hell, that's the blinking, screaming siren light going off that says you've got to do something. And Jessica Drake touched on not only what you just said, Megan, about the parts that you don't see about the foreplay and everything that happens there, but the idea that consent happens as well. And it doesn't sound like I haven't read Holly's book yet, but the idea that she kind of just fell into it and it was never a conscious choice for her per se. She's just sort of got swept up. And that's really kind of sad, don't you think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's one of the things. Excuse me. Sometimes I think there ought to be certain, even higher age limits for certain things, because I think people really need to think about what they're doing. For example, I got a tattoo when I was 35. I really knew what I wanted when I was 35.
Okay.
I don't think a lot of people know who they are, especially with an extended adolescence in this country. I mean, really, what they want or what's going on, in their teens or early 20s. These are starter adults. I mean, legally adults, yeah. But they, folks don't know what they're doing yet.
Yeah.
And you can get the pressure from your parents. To do this or do that, or to just feel overwhelmed by everything going around you that you don't get a choice.
Yeah.
And I think I'd heard your brain is not really fully formed until you're like 25.
Really?
Oh,
yeah, I think that sounds right too. I think I've read something, on that. But think about this though. Now the norm for people having children in our country is much later age, far closer to 30 on average. Whereas, like Colleen, when maybe you and I were born, or people older than we were, I mean, it was their early 20s. I mean, they got married really, really young. Think about that. They're starting these families before their brains formed, and then all of a sudden they're 25. Oh, I have my brain now. Oh, look, and I have 3 kids. That's frightening.
It is. I personally think it's a great trend. I mean, people can obviously do whatever they want, have kids or not, whenever they want, but there really is something to be said, I think, about people being fully functional adults while trying to raise other soon-to-be fully functional adults.
And I think that's why more and more people are being more honest too. Speaking of rabbit hole, going down the thing about deciding to be child-free. Mm-hmm. That is perfectly justifiable, concept. And, it's still just, it amazes people that people would think that way. But as you get older and things are going on and you really, you're like, okay, this is not something that I have to do. Yeah. There are other things that are, there are lots of other ways for me to be a viable human being versus the fact that I've squeezed something out of my uterus or that I've managed to, get the sperm to land right. I mean, the fact that there are more people making the conscious decision to be parents for the right reasons.
Well, and I love that because I made the choice not to have children. Because I just looked at, my mom was a single mom for the very large chunk of most of my childhood. Quite frankly, my parents divorced when I was 4, and I never really had a dad. He existed, of course, but he was not really in my life. And I saw how hard it was for her, and I thought, that just doesn't look fun. And I know that's a terrible thing to say,
but no, it's not terrible. It just is.
Yeah, and I don't. And I thought, in order to do this, to make it a great experience for both the kid and to have it the way I want it, I don't know if I want to put that kind of effort in it. So I'm not going to be responsible for another human's happiness or unhappiness. And that's how I made my choice.
And I think that it all goes down. I mean, Jessica, what's else in my throat today? The idea of consent, that the fact that people make fully informed decisions about what they're doing.
Yep.
And it goes into every little aspect of life.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a fully informed decision about what you're eating? Do you have a fully formed decision about what's going on in your neighborhood? Do you have a fully informed decision, about whether or not you want to have kids, or you just, sliding along thinking, well, is this what I'm supposed to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think, you just more information, the better.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons we have seminars.
Well, and I just figured out while we were sitting here having this discussion, guys, I just figured out how we're going to do this with Cheney and with Ryan, with ID Lube Company, and Cheney's with the Rabbit Company. I am going to, we'll go ahead and shut our episode down. I'm going to preview what's in those 2 interviews, and we're going to release a second little mini episode with those 2 back-to-back interviews because they're really good. And Cheney has some pretty dang funny stories about traveling with samples, if you can even imagine. Actually, they all do. I had to ask all of them that question because they were brilliant. And we'll play those 2. Ryan's very educational, and so is Cheney, but she's also hysterical. So is that okay? Are you guys cool with that?
Right. Yeah, a couple of things.
Yeah.
One, I mean, like I said, the ID, we carry a lot of the items in the store, but everything's available at ECN. The same with Rabbit Company. We carry many items at the store, but you just can't carry everything. So everything's available also on our partner website.
Okay.
FantasyGiftsMN.com.
Yeah. If you go to, fantasygifts.com, because most people do that, and you click on the Minnesota one, you can see that our dropship website is on the top. There's another place for it. Or, like I said, it's just fantasygiftsmn.com.
Okay. Awesome, you guys. Well, we'll get these interviews. So definitely look for the Gr8 Nrthrn Sexcast Episode 27a is what it's going to be called, and it'll be posted in just a few minutes after this one pops up online. So welcome back, Colleen, Megan. Awesome to hang out with you on Sunday, and great job today. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Great.
Bye.